we have a very different, now we have an experience. And I think you're going to be delighted by Jerry Teplitz's sharing. All right, Dr. Jerry Teplitz, PhD, was originally an attorney and now has a PhD in holistic health science. He has spoken to more than 1 million people and has been inducted as a legend of the speaking profession by the Veteran Speakers Network. He is the author of 9 books and 2 bestsellers on Amazon, Switched On Selling and Switched On Networking. He is vice president of the Fellowship Board of Directors and has served on the board for many years. Jerry's work was praised in the Paul Solomon readings. And so we look to him in his wisdom, and he also has been a staying power of this church, holding it together, making it work, and supporting it with his wonderful ideas and his wisdom. And we're so appreciative that Jerry is a part of our fellowship family.
Thank you. So my topic is, your body's talking. Are you listening? Do you realize how complex we are? The brain actually contains around 86 billion neurons, not millions, but billions of neurons. Neurons actually start to occur about the 3rd week after a child's born. The rate is 250,000 per minute that come into existence. That continues through the early years, and it results then in trillions of connections all up here. We got this massive thing up here, but what controls it? Our thoughts. And what I want to do is give you an experience today as to how your thoughts come into play. And when I do regular speaking around the world, I demonstrate something called behavioral kinesiology. Some of you have seen this, and I want to demonstrate this now because it shows how everything around us affects us and how its effect is very direct, very immediate, very dramatic. This flat out always looks like a trick when I demonstrate it, but it's also totally real. Now, to assist me, I need a man and a woman to come up as volunteers. And so Nettie in the room, come on up, Nettie. And I forgot your name. Yeah, come on up. Yeah. Aisha? Yeah. So come on up over here.
Oh boy.
So this is muscle checking of the body. Everything around us affects us. This effect is, as I'm saying, is direct, immediate, dramatic. This is going to look like a trick. I'll explain what I did in just a few minutes. What both of you are going to do is one at a time, you're going to step in front of me facing them. You're going to stick your strongest arm out with your thumb turned downward. I'm going to be pressing down your arm. You're pushing up when I say resist. So we're going to start, Keisha, with you first. So facing them, strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. You're pushing up, I'm pushing down. Ready, resist. Okay, and you put your arm down. Now you felt that as a hard pressure, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's as hard as the lines get up here. Okay, now, so I want to demonstrate how your thoughts are affecting you. So what I want you to do is pick a negative, stressful thought. You're going to close your eyes and visualize it. When you have it focused, you're going to shake your head so I know you got it, and I'm going to say ready, resist, and check you. Okay, so arm out, close your eyes, shake it when you have it, and I'll check you. Got it? Ready, resist. We almost lost her on that one. Now, I want you to pick a very positive thought. Okay, when you have that, shake your head, close your eyes, and I'll muscle check you again. Okay, on a positive thought. So arm out. Got it? Ready, resist. I was actually pressing harder on her arm, and her arm stayed rock solid. Now go back to the negative, and I want you to switch it and view it positively. Fine, hold on. Before the freak out happens. But find something about it to view positively, even if it's just, thank God, I'm glad it's over with. Okay, great. Arm out, shake your head, close your eyes, shake and have it focused, and I'll check you. Got it? Ready, resist. Now, go back to the negatively again. Okay, arm out.
Same vision.
Same negative. Yeah. Got it? Got it? Ready, resist.
I really can't get.
And let's go positive again. I don't want to leave you that way. So let me know when you got it positive. Got it? Ready, resist. Okay, you can step over there. So let me explain what just happened with her. Negative thoughts zap us instantly. You think negative long enough, hard enough, you create illness for yourself. Positive thoughts do the exact opposite. They keep you up and energized. The third thing she did is she changed her mind. She took her viewpoint of that negative thought and switched it. It changed its impact on her. But then when she went back to the negative, guess what was still there? The negative energy. One of the things I'm going to be showing you towards the end of my presentation is how you can get rid of that charge in 2 minutes. So you can think of the situation, but it's not going to have a negative impact on you. Now, not all positive thoughts are the same. So Nettie, come on up. So strongest arm out. Don't worry, I'll give you the instructions. Okay. So strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. You're pushing up, ready, resist. Okay, and you felt that as a hard pressure, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what I want to do is show you how there's degrees of positive thinking. So first, I want you to go to a negative thought.
Sure.
Okay, let me know when you have it. Just close your eyes, shake your habit. Ready, resist. Okay. Now, I want you to go what we're going to call a so-so positive thought.
So positive.
Just kind of so-so positive. Okay. Arm out, close your eyes, shake your habit, and I'll check you. Watch what happens to his arm. You got it? Ready, resist. And now I want you to go to a very positive thought. We're going to call this a kind of the God consciousness, one of those types,
conscious thought.
one of those kinds of thoughts for you, wherever you can find it in your mind, because remember, you got all those billions of neurons, they're there. So arm out, close your eyes, shake it, and have that one focus on. I'll check you. Got it? Ready, resist.
Yeah.
You can step over there. So on the negative, his arm came down. So positive, it drifted down. Now, you may not have noticed it, but when he went to that spiritual God consciousness, however he's defined it, it actually went up some. Those are the kinds of thoughts you want to focus in on, because those are the thoughts that create the highest level of energy for you in your system. You two can be seated. Now, give him a hand. So there's been research that's looked at this whole concept, and we define it in our world as optimists versus pessimists. And so there's research looking at this, and they found optimists have 3 times less hypertension than pessimists. The most positive optimist has the lowest level of blood pressure. They found optimists had 50% less cardiovascular disease than a pessimist. And if an optimist has to go in for as a heart patient, the survival rate over 30 years is 15% greater than a pessimist. They've also found that there's a gene for dementia. People who have this gene, but also have a positive attitude about aging, are 50% less likely to develop dementia. What? 50. What we define as you really can't do much about, well, guess what? By having that positive attitude, you can change those statistics totally in your favor. Now, there was a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology where they looked at 180 Catholic nuns. And what they had them do is they had them write their autobiographies when they're in their teens and their 20s. Looked at end of life, and they discovered those using more positive emotional words when they were in their teens and 20s lived 8 to 10 years longer. So the attitude that you have has this immediate response to how we live our life. And just having that positive attitude changes what goes on around you. So it's not saying negative doesn't happen, but it's saying you have a viewpoint of it. Like what Sharon was talking about just now, it's a viewpoint that the mystic has that says, and you get a different response as opposed to, oh my God. Now, in medicine, there's a placebo. Oh, before we do that, I want to give you all an experience with this so we can get on the same page with this. So what you're going to do in a moment, you're going to stand up, you're going to face a partner. It's easier to do this when you're facing each other. Don't stand up yet. I'm behind the people up here just because it's easier to watch what I'm doing, but it's actually easy to do when you're facing each other. For people on Zoom, just watch what we're doing and you can then do it later. If you have a partner, do join us in this, but if you don't, do it on somebody later. So stand up, face a partner, and wait for me. I'll take you through it step by step. So partner being checked first, they're going to stick their strongest arm out, their thumb turned downward. Don't do it yet. And all you're attempting to do is to just measure their level of resistance. You're not attempting to whack their arm all the way down because you can do that. Everybody has a level of resistance you can push through it. We're looking to measure their level of resistance. Anywhere from here down to here is fine. If you physically go down then a further couple of inches, that means you're pressing too hard. Do it again immediately, staying within this first couple of inches. It's also not a pumping action. You're not attempting to have them spew forth water. You're facing each other. It's easy to do that way. Partner being checked first will now stick their strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. Partner doing the checking, keep your face neutral, no smile, no frown. Now place one hand on their opposite shoulder that's just for support. It keeps them level. The other hand right by the wrist bone, right by the wrist bone. They're pushing up, you're pushing down. Say ready, resist. Hard, steady pressure by the wrist bone. Now, have your partner close their eyes and think of a negative, stressful thought. And I want you to pick one that you'd like to get rid of the charge on, because that's the one we're going to use a little bit later. So have them close their eyes, shake them when they have a negative, stressful thought. When they shake their head, then say ready, resist, and check them. Now have them think a so positive thought, so positive thought. Have them close their eyes, shake them, and have a so positive thought, focus, and check them. Now, have them pick however they define it for themselves, spiritual, religious, God-conscious thought. Close their eyes, shake them, and have that focus, then check them. Now go back to the negative and view it negatively again. Negative viewed negatively again. And now have them switch it and view it positively. Have them switch it and view it positively. So how does this concept of our thoughts having an impact affects us? Well, in medicine, there's the placebo effect. Doc gives you a sugar pill and says you're going to recover, and you do. Thomas Jefferson actually had something to say about the placebo effect. And what he said is the docs he knew who gave people just some bread and some ash from the fireplace, people recovered better and faster than other folks. So Thomas Jefferson knew of the placebo effect. But now we have other scientific research about it. One of the very first studies in this area was done in 1988. It published in Southern Medical Journal by Dr. Randolph Bird from University of California Medical School. What they had in the study was 400 coronary care patients, had them divided into two groups, received the same exact medical care. It was a double-blind study. Neither patients, doctors, nobody knew who was in which group. The only difference is one group was prayed for by Protestant and Catholic prayer groups spread around the country. The results: the prayed for group had less congestive heart failure. They had 5 times less need for antibiotics. They had 4 times less pneumonia. They had 4 times less need to be resuscitated. What? Nope. Double-blind study. So they had 4 times less need to be resuscitated. Which group would you have rather have been in this study? Called put me in the pray for group. Thank you. Amen. Now, before the AIDS cocktail of drugs came about, there was a study done with 40 people who had AIDS, divided into 2 groups. One group was prayed for by 10 people. And this is a key part to me. These people came from 10 different religious backgrounds, 10 different healing traditions. They prayed for these folks for 1 hour per day for 1 week, and then they were done. The results 6 months later, the controls had spent 68 days in the hospital. The prayed for folks had spent 10 days in the hospital. And the prayed for folks had less severe AIDS-related diseases and less emotional stress. And notice the key part to me was 10 different religious, spiritual backgrounds. Nobody has a lock on this. It's not Christianity, it's not Muslim, it's not Judaism. All of them have an impact. Now, they even did a study in Iowa, I believe it was, where they had people praying for farmers, and farmers have a very high accident rate, the highest rate in the country. That farming season, those people being prayed for, the rate dropped dramatically. So our thoughts are alive. Our thoughts affect ourselves. They affect the people around us. Now, let's take this to another level, and let me have you two come up. So right here, Analia, face, arm out, thumb down, side, ready, push up. Steve, arm out, ready, resist. Okay, and you both felt that as a hard pressure, correct? Okay, I'm going to whisper something to Analia back in a second. I don't want you two looking at each other. So facing forward, you'll have to work on it. I know. Okay, so arm out. See, Analia, shake it when you're doing what I told you to do. Okay, look that way so you're not looking at him. You got it, Analia? Ready, resist. Arm out, Analia, keep it going. Still got it? Ready, resist. Second thing in you, Analia. Let me know when you have that. Shake your head. If you got it, ready, resist. Keep it going, Analia. Ready, resist. Third part. Let me know when you have it, Analia. Shake your head. Ready, resist. Keep it going. Arm out. Still got it? Ready, resist.
No.
So the first thing Analia did, she thought a negative thought directly about Steve. You two can talk about this later.
That was hard for her to do.
And she had to work on it. That was good. Yeah, and her arm went down also.
Yeah.
Second thing she did is thought a positive thought about him. His arm stayed up. So did hers. Third thing she did is she thought a negative thought unrelated to him. His arm stayed up, hers went down.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, our thoughts transfer and our thoughts impact who and what we aim them at. When you get a prayer group together and you're sending thoughts, guess who it's hitting? The person you're sending it to. When you think negative thoughts about somebody, you're zapping them, but you're also zapping yourself. So congratulations when you carry negative around for somebody else, it's affecting you.
You're making yourself sick.
You're making yourself sick.
Thank you.
Now, one thing I'm going to now have whisper something to Steve. Okay, so you're going to go back to that same negative thought. Okay, you'll shake on about him.
Oh, a negative thought about him?
The same negative thought. When you have it after he shook his head that he's doing what I told him to do. Okay, arm out, Steve. Analia, you can you got that thought now? And ready, resist. Arm out, Analia, keep that thought. Ready, resist. So what Steve just did is he visualized surrounding himself with an energy bubble, and your thoughts, even words that are negative, could not get through, even though the negative thought was still having a negative impact on her.
Positive thought.
Thank you.
positive thought.
You guys can be seated. Give them a hand for joining us up here. So they did some research on this notion of sending thoughts. They had on a college campus 2 emotionally bonded people, put them on opposite sides of the campus, wired them up with fMRI brain scanners and EEG machines. And one person's brain was stimulated with a laser. The other person's brain had the same exact response at the same time. So the notion of our thoughts traveling, there's no limit to how far they can go. Now, we're now up to the point where I want to show you how you can get rid of the charge attached to that negative thought that we did earlier. And so what we're going to do is something called brain gym. Brain gym are very simple body movements and exercises that were originally developed for children and adults with learning disabilities. We can take D and F graded students and give them the capability of becoming A-level students in a semester just by using movement. And I got excited about this work when I learned it and started studying it. And then I went on to develop it in the business arena. So I've actually created courses for salespeople, for network marketers, for startup entrepreneurs, for internet marketers, on how you can switch yourself on for the places you get stuck in the process. And so these exercises we're going to do is, how do you get rid of that charge in 2 minutes that we just did? So now, before I show you the exercise, I want to show you how your whole body is affected by your thoughts. So stand up, everybody. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands by the side of your body. And people who are on Zoom, you can actually join in with this part. I want you in a moment, you're going to close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you to observe your physical posture. You're not opening your eyes to look down. You're just observing, am I upright? Am I slumped? Am I going side to side? Whatever you observe is fine, including nothing. I'll ask you to observe your breathing. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Erratic? I'll ask you to observe what's going on in you. If you have any pain anywhere. And some people do, some people don't on this. And then I'll ask you to observe what's going on in your mind. Is it churning? Is it zipping all over the place? Is it calm? And again, whatever you observe on each of these parts is fine. So close your eyes. And I want you to think of that negative thought that you picked before, and think of it negatively. And intensify that thought. And without adjusting your body, just observe your physical posture. Observe your breathing. Observe any pain you feel in your body and where it is. And observe what was going on in your mind. Okay, open your eyes. And how many of you observe something along the lines on the posture of like slumping type of movement? Okay, most everybody, and it's okay if you didn't. We're just looking at all four areas. How about breathing? Do you observe shallow? If you did, raise your hand there. Anybody have any pain anywhere? Raise your hand if you did observe pain. Okay, we got some pain. And anybody observe their mind like churning, going all over the place? Raise your hand there as well. So pretty much almost everybody observed in one area. We're going to come back at the end to show you what changed with this. So now be seated. We'll be passing out the instructions for doing these brain gyms afterwards, but let me get this stand here. Okay, so the first movement is called hookups. Hookups. There's a part 1 and a part 2. So I want you to all clasp your hand together. Everybody has one thumb on top. We're going to call that whole side of your body the primary side of your body. So now release your hands. Put your arms straight out in front of you. Turn the backs of your hands towards each other. Take the primary side hand over the top of the other. You're going to intertwine your fingers, bring your hands under and into your chest if you're able to do that. If you can't, just keep them out in front of you. Now take your primary side ankle and cross it in front of the other ankle. Carol, backs of the hands towards each other, put them out in front of you. Backs towards each other, primary side over the top of the other, over the stronger one, the one that was on top, go over the top, intertwine, under and into your chest. Okay? So you've got your primary side ankle in front of the other ankle. You're going to put your tongue to the roof of the mouth, 1/4 of an inch behind your front teeth. In a moment, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to keep breathing. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of that negative thought negatively. As much intensity, as much clarity as you can, negatively. Somewhere in holding hookups, there's part 1, part 2, the positive points, the negative will fade away. Other thoughts will pop in. Your mind will wander off, becomes hard to focus on the negative. When that happens, you switch and view it positively. But stay with the negative until you get a switch, disappears, can't find it, drifts off. Close your eyes, keep breathing. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Okay, open your eyes, release your hands, uncross your feet. Part 2 of hookups, just bring your fingertips together. They can be up in the air in your lap, just be comfortable. If the negative is still there, continue to view it negatively. Mind wanders off, other thoughts pop in, hard to view the negative, switch and go positive. But start with, again, if the negative is still there, stay with the negative. Otherwise, switch and go positive for the rest of the process. Close your eyes, keep breathing. We'll hold this for 30 seconds. Okay, release your hands, open your eyes. The next is called positive points. To do positive points, you're going to take 3 fingers from each hand. Find the middle of your eyebrow, go halfway up to the hairline or where it used to be. You have the curved part of the head. Notice my fingers are about 1 inch or 2 apart. It's where the curve is. You're placing your fingers there lightly. You're touching, but it is light. If the negative is still there, continue it negatively. Mind wanders off. Other thoughts pop in. Switch and view it positively. Keep breathing. We'll hold this for 30 seconds and close your eyes. Okay, relax your hands, open your eyes. Nettie, would you come back up again quickly? Nettie. Okay, so arm out right in front of me. Okay, so I want you to go back to that negative thought. Okay, but go back to it and we'll see what happens. Okay, you got it? Ready, resist. Negative charge is not there. It means he can think about the thought, but it won't have a negative impact on him. So stand up with your partner. One of you put your arm out. Think of that situation you started with, the negative, except it's not going to be negative anymore. They'll check you, and then you check the other partner immediately. So one partner out, close your eyes. And then the other partner, immediately do the other partner. Thinking of the quote unquote negative, it's not going to be negative anymore. The original. After you've done it on each other, face towards me because I want to put the body back into the experience. So after you've checked each other, face towards me. Put your hands at the side of the body. Face towards me, hands at the side of the body. And with the instructions again, just observe, close your eyes. Think of that same situation now. And without adjusting your body, observe your physical posture now. Your breathing. Any pain you have. What's going on in the mind? Open your eyes. So how many noticed that it's kind of, they felt more like they were closer to the positive side or at the positive side or even the spiritual side? Raise your hand if you had that experience. Yeah, what you have done is you've taken that thought and got rid of the charge attached to it. Be seated. So I want to end my session with a poem that goes like this. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, it becomes you. You start with a thought. You hold that thought long enough, you become the reality of that thought. What you got to see and experience, the notion of God consciousness, is a thought you can have for yourself whenever you want to. Thank you.